This meeting is being recorded.
So welcome friends to the Shakti dialogue with Harleen Sona. Harleen is someone I met on a flight going to Rome, and she was going to Winnipeg, Canada to meet her daughter after 3.5 years because of COVID. They were apart from each other. And she was in the window seat and I was in the aisle. And we had a very sweet young Sardarji between us. And we didn't really talk much, almost right at the end when we got to the, almost time to land, something made us begin chatting. And then I just felt this very, very generous and beautiful Shakti presence from this young woman. And then as we started talking, I realized she had such a story and she is quite extraordinary. And so I said, you're the perfect person for my Shakti dialogue. This is a podcast I do only when I find someone I want to do a Shakti dialogue with. So this is not a regular podcast. It's only when I find the right persons. So for our listeners, I'm just going to quickly, do you want to say something before I just tell them a little bit about you?
Sat Shri Akal, this is what I want to say to this whole world, the presence of Shakti. Meri presence nu, if I think I have to speak in English so that everybody could get it. So to know who I am, the energy was so vibrating at the same frequency that you actually got it, that who am I?
It was really quite magical. And I often find maybe when we leave the terrestrial atmosphere and we are a few thousand feet above in an aircraft, suddenly it's like the reality takes over far better. We're able to sense real connection, because when we are closer to the ground, we're mixed up with so many other energies, right?
Exactly. So there were only we two talking to each other without being us actually. So there was something else which was talking to each other. So that is what I realized when we left each other on that airport in Frankfurt, that there was something else which was talking, without being judgmental, we were just being listeners. So that's how we got each other. And I have the same things to tell about you to the world. That was amazing experience for me too. And I don't know how that sweet Sardarji got up and went to washroom, and then we were together. I asked him, and he was so generous that I said, "Can we sit together?" So that was so sweet. So that's how we met, and over here we are.
Here we are. So let me tell the listeners a little bit about you. Harleen Sona is a writer and a poet, and she's written poetry in Punjabi. In 2011, her book was called Tere Tak. And then there's a haiku book. You'll have to pronounce this for me because it's bilingual.
RC, yes. Apanre Hath RC.
Okay. And then you have 2 poetry books for children. You're a talk show host. Your show is on YouTube. It's called Do Cup Cha. You're the founder of Jugnu Club, a creative club for government school children. You're also, you have a small part in a family business in Khatoons Designs Private Limited. You're one of the silent directors. You're the mother of 2 daughters who are 23 and 19 years old. You live in Ludhiana, Punjab, but you're currently in Winnipeg, Canada with your daughter. And we are also friends for a very short while since we met on a flight.
Yes, we are.
So let's dive right in. There was something so special about you, Harleen, and I want to ask you your story. Maybe you just begin, we dive right in. And then the reason I wanted you on this Shakti dialogue is one of the things we have convened on the world stage is called Truth and Reconciliation from the Inside Out, where we talk about all the traumas of our past that we need to heal in order to lead the future that's possible. And the trauma of partition, and all that is a theme very close to my heart. And we'll speak on that later. But first, I just want you to tell your story about how did you come to doing the work that you're doing. You're very much a healer. You're a yogini. I spontaneously asked you to sing the Shabad, right? What's it called? The Ik Omkar. Mool Mantra. Yes. I asked you, and then you just started singing, and you sang with such power and beauty and grace. And it's interesting, on that flight, there were a lot of Sardarjis. So, some of them turned around to look, saying, who's singing? And you were the very last seat at the very end, before.
Yeah, I'm not present to that. I wasn't present to that moment. But it's so beautiful. It's
and then
the universal prayer.
I asked you, are you single? And you said yes. And I said, how did your husband? Something I asked about your husband, and then you said he passed away.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell me your story, because it's you can share how he passed and how that has impacted your life.
Exactly. You know what? You started this question by saying healing ourselves, healing the world, truth and reconciliation, and something around that. So, what I think is everything begins with us, So, maybe many of us are not present to it, many of us are aware of it, but actually, when we start healing ourselves, then that moment we are not only healing ourselves, we are healing the whole society, the whole universe, every part of it.
Yes.
Because actually, it starts from here and it ends here.
Yes.
It's the circle, a beautiful circle, right? So, if I talk about my story, keeping myself to the question you asked, yes, I lost my husband 14 years ago. He committed suicide and he was in depression, but in those times, I was not present to it, that something like depression existed. And we were just looking for the, you know, materialistic concerns, that why is he into that space, right? But, you know, when the time comes, we cannot win over the time. Actually, we have to walk with it. We can walk with it, but we cannot always win the time. So that is where awareness happens, and it gifts us with something which is more powerful than we are. So that is what happened. My husband committed suicide because he was in depression, and I was so naive to this world of healing, and I was not able to get why he was doing all that he was doing, being quiet for many months, not eating food properly. And we went to a doctor. I spoke to a few of my friends, I spoke to my in-laws, and but I am not going to blame anybody, not myself even. But actually that was supposed to happen, because I think when people like me, who are so stupid, who are not ready to see with the lens we have, the amazing lens we have to watch this universe and to get the energy inside us to heal the world, then, the universe give us a bang, and that was the bang which happened to me when we found him um, hanging from the ceiling. And and many things happened. My daughters were so young. The younger one was 4, and the elder one was 8, and I was 32. So everything happened as it happens in a Punjabi or an Indian society, maybe. um, So things happened that people started blaming me and blah blah, and everything happened. And I said, okay, I was not even present to what these blames were for, but my parents got affected, and I went to live with my parents, and they supported us. And I never went back to my in-laws. um, I know I there was a house which was mine and my husband's, and we sold it, and many things happened after that. But the result was that I was a widow, and a widow in a society, people do not say anything on your face, but the atmosphere, the whole world around you is pricking you with something which is that you cannot do this, you cannot do this. And even if the world was not telling me to not to do something, certain things, I was born and brought up in that society, then that those things were instilled in me, that they were coming out, that they were stopping me, that okay, you cannot go out like that, you cannot get ready again, you cannot put makeup on your face, you cannot wear such clothes, and many little things came up. And then at one moment, and even I was not present to what my daughters were facing, because I was crying. It was so much of a burden that everything was you know taken away from me, my husband, and everything, every materialistic pleasure too. But I got a support from my parents. They are my earth angels. They are actually, our parents are our earth angels, but the moment we realize that they are, that's the blessed moment we have,
Yeah.
the most blessed moment. So that moment I realized, and the life started again with a bang. And my elder sister said, you should get married again. But that moment I wasn't ready. So then some friends and my sisters and my mom and dad, they encouraged me to go to landmark education. I started analyzing myself, that why these things happened to me. And I was blessed. So I looked deep into myself. I found many, many, many things in my own mirror which told me that how we can heal ourselves, so that we leave the past behind, forgiving everybody, whoever did whatever to us, and moving forward by giving that light to others also. So there the journey began, and I did many courses, and I always looked deep into myself. And
And you became a
now,
healer. You became a healer. You are a poet. So it feels
yes,
like all of this came out from your trauma and
yes,
your
yes,
incredible initiation that life
yes,
gave you.
exactly. ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਢੀਠ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਵੱਡਾ ਹਥੌੜਾ ਨਾ ਪਵੇ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸ ਦਾ, ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਕਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ I was somebody who was so shy, or actually not authentically confident. That's the proper phrase. So I was not authentically confident, but people used to think that I'm quite confident and I can do this that, everything. But I wasn't. I was always so scared of being in the society, being with other people. I was always thinking about, I'm so short, what people will think about me. I don't look that beautiful. My hair are like that. So earlier in my life and after marriage also, because there were certain circumstances which gave me all that space in my head. So when I realized that my body is not only 4 feet 10 inches tall, it is beyond that, way beyond that, because it's not about reaching the sky. It was about going down deep inside the earth, to its core, to get who I am. Then I found that I'm not only 4 feet 10 inches stature, I'm more than that. And I'm so pretty that I am able to tell others that this world is so beautiful. Don't miss ever miss a chance to enjoy your life, to love others, to spread your light. So when I became a yoga teacher, the journey was, going up and up. So I am a yogini, as you said. I love to hear that word, and a sound healer. When I heal people, when I tell them, not only with my words, with my silence too, when I am able to express that our body is the only thing which is present to the other people in the world. Everybody is not having that lens that they can see your soul, that they can feel your mind, and they can feel how your journey was. Keep your body also active, keep it so fit that you don't have to tell people who you are. You don't have to tell people who you are. They will get it in speck of a time. They will get it. So it's a connection between mind, body, and soul, uh, which revealed who I am. And you got it, that this is how, the world is.
So beautiful, Harleen. And as you say, you've used your body to kind of be an embodiment. You've embodied your soul through your physical body, right? So that beautiful combination uh, is something that anyone who has even a little bit of perception, sensitivity, they would pick up. And you said you did landmark and you did a few things, but clearly I sense you as a very old soul, because there is a profound spiritual thread through everything you say and do. Um, it feels as if the whack from the universe was a wake-up call to remember your
Yeah.
own
Complete my
spiritual.
karma circle, actually. Yeah. That was a wake up call. Exactly. So my husband was supposed to pay for it, maybe, in earlier lives. That was the karma to be healed, from earlier lives. So that was a wake up call, and I woke up. And I know that in this moment, I can clearly say that when I earlier used to tell people that I'm a widow, then that was incomplete here. But now when I tell them, then that's something, it's not my social status only.
Mhm.
It is I'm complete with, because that is how I am able to move forward now. That is how I am ready to, ready to be in this world full of this energy. Otherwise, if there was a little complaint left, then I was never, you know, I would never have been able to make a difference around to the people who come to me, or wherever I go, through my poetry, through yoga, or whatever. Earlier, I was like, whenever somebody used to say, okay, क्या करते हो तुम, लाइक कुछ डिफरेंट किया है तुमने, पहले तो ऐसे नहीं थे. तो आई यूज टू फील कि पता नहीं मैंने क्या किया है. सो बुरा भी लगता था अंदर से, क्योंकि खुद कंप्लीट नहीं थे. सो व्हेन नाउ पीपल से दैट, देन आई थिंक आई एम ब्लेस्ड, that I'm aware that what I am doing, if I do something wrong, according to me, if I feel powerless, that's where I should stop. My little voice says, okay, stop. You're being powerless, so this is not you. So there, something is missing, either forgiveness or shukrana, being grateful. So when we add forgiveness and thankfulness to that space where we feel powerless,
Mm.
so their healing happens. Forgiveness starts the
So
healing
beautiful.
process.
So I want to speak about identity.
Yeah.
They say fish are last to know water, and
Uh-huh.
you are just you. You're traveling the world, but when I speak to you, I clearly feel your culture, your spiritual culture, that is,
Yeah, it is.
informing who you are and your words. So you are a Sikh.
Yes,
You are steeped in the Sikh tradition. And
exactly.
since we are talking about Truth and Reconciliation for this Shakti dialogue, I'm very intrigued by Punjab. On one hand, there is Guru Nanak Ji, who was among the earlier saints before him, Akbar, the Mughal emperor, and so on. There have been great masters from the past who have tried to synthesize and integrate the different faiths of India around the whole idea of Sanatan Dharma, right? So that there is one truth, one reality, just has many names and many forms, and many ways to get there. On one hand, there is the Sikh religion that through Nanak Ji sought to combine the truth of Hinduism and Islam, right? And Punjab sits on the border of what is today India and Pakistan, right? And then there was partition that happened 75 years ago. And the trauma of that, Punjab would have had to bear the brunt of what happened between both sides as these were going, as the Muslims were leaving India to go to Pakistan, as the Hindus were leaving Pakistan to come to India, and the Punjabis were kind of caught between these two places, and a lot of pain has happened, a lot of suffering has happened. 14th of August is now designated grieving partition day, right? So more recently, if you look at the story of Punjab, there has been the desire to, some elements within Punjab have sought a separate state for Punjab. And then, Indira Gandhi was killed because of that. So there's a lot of pain. Then the Sikh, the way they were killed after that, right? I mean, there's been so much pain with your history of your people.
Yes.
Even after, your founder was the one who'd actually tried to unify, right? And more recently, there was this movie called Udta Punjab, right? Which got a lot of flack because it's saying that today many people in Punjab are on drugs, and are they being fed by, Pakistan to just kind of, keep the young people in a state of stupor. And so tell us, you're an insider. Can you respond to what I'm saying? Is this the unhealed trauma of a people that goes back to partition days?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pain in us, as we talk about karmic cycles, we were talking about. So there is a lot of pain inside us as a single human being, because we have been through so many lives, dealing with so many things. So this partition thing happened to the whole society at one time, right? It is a part of many of us as karmas. It is added to our trauma, So here in this life, we know that I was not born at that time. I was not in this world, but I am so much present to it by listening to the stories, by listening to what people dealt with at that time. My nani, my dadi, they shared their stories, and many people, they shared their stories. There are lots of books we have been reading, lots of things we have been listening to. And actually, somebody like me or you, we can feel that trauma whenever, as I talk about the literary world there in Pakistan and here in India. If I talk about that, then sometimes there is something which is pulling me. Then why can't I go there? I know that जैसे गुलजार कहते हैं कि आंखों को वीजा नहीं चाहिए, सपनों को वीजा नहीं चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ उन्होंने कहा। तो बिल्कुल ठीक है कि हम जा आते हैं, बॉर्डर पार जा आते हैं, we can go there and be there through our soul, through our mind, through our feelings and emotions. But there is something which is still to be healed, which is because I'm not going to blame anybody, but yes, we never got a time to heal ourselves properly. Because to heal ourselves, we have to accept that we are still in pain. So if the society as a whole is not accepting that we are still in pain, we are busy doing something else to move forward in life all the time. That's important. I'm not denying that. To move forward, my favorite thing is to say तुरदे रहो, है ना, तुरदे रहिए हमेशा, कि रब राखा रहे साडा ते ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਰਦੇ ਰਹੀਏ. But to move forward is very important. But if we need the complete power to move forward, we are supposed to heal the traumas. As I said, I got healed because I accepted whatever happened to me and whatever the situation is, and to move powerfully forward, I am healed completely. Now these things never bring tears to my eyes when I say I'm a widow, I'm complete. Okay, fine, that's the destiny. I cannot change it. But when we talk about partition, it still hurts. It still hurts. Why? Because there is something left. We have not forgiven everybody as a whole society. Even a cricket match, when it happens, the Indian team and the Pakistani team, if they are the two teams playing, but it is a thing of past now, because there is a different scenario in cricket now. But in those times when I was young, we were like, oh, asi jit gaye, है ना? But we were together always. So now this is happening. So this is actually reflecting in our Punjabi society. We are not even okay with our own identities, even, because something is left there. And I think there is something which is missing. That's why this, as you talked about the drugs thing, or, not getting our power completely, not using it completely, and getting used by people, you know, uh, different political parties in their own way. Since partition happened, there is growth, but there is something that as Sikhs, as Punjabis, we are not where we were. As I will give you an example, in these days, whenever I look at gurdwaras, and if I talk about my own thing, then when I read ardas, ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਸੰਗਰਾਂਦ ਤੇ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਘਰ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So if I talk about being religious, but if you look at my physical presence, then I am not a sardarni completely. मैं amrit नहीं छकिया, I have my hair cut and everything. I'm not a sardarni completely, as Gobind said. But when I talk about these days, then I always think that that was the need of the hour. Right? These days, we guys are finding comfort in following our religion also. We find a comfortable space that to move forward in society. Sometimes we think that these things are difficult, let's go on the easy path so that it is not a hurdle in our path. But for me, being a Sikh is not only by how you look. Being a Sikh means to be a learner. Sikh is ਸਿੱਖਣ ਵਾਲਾ, ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਵੇਲੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ learn ਕਰਨ ਲਈ. But when we are not healed, we are not even present to this, that who we are. So a Sikh is a learner, but people are not present to it. They are learners. They are just teaching people that be this, be this, be this. I don't know where I'm heading towards, but I'm completely, here that I am a Sikh by heart. I know what Guru Nanak has given us in this moment of my life. I think many of us are blessed that kirt karo, naam japo, and vand chako. So kirt karo is do something for your living, earn money, feed your family, don't be dependent on others, do something. Kirt karo da sanu jehड़ा message ਮਿਲਿਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ. Then ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਰਤ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਰੱਖਿਆ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ, कि काम करना is so important. उसके बाद नाम जपना. अगर तुम्हारे पास खाना खाने को है तो तुम नाम जपोगे आराम से बैठ के, तो उसके बाद there is vand chako, sharing. So sharing is not only ki happiness share karni hai. Sharing is what we have. So if we have something to heal others, then I think that should be there. And if we have something as a time, ਦਸਵੰਧ ਕੱਢਣ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਹੈ कि अपनी कमाई का 10वां हिस्सा शेयर करो लोगों के साथ. So it is not only कमाई जिसका 10वां हिस्सा शेयर करना है, टाइम का भी 10वां हिस्सा जरूरतमंद को दो, पैसे का दो, जिस चीज का खुशी का दो. सो गम का भी बांट लेते हैं हम, तो वैसे ट्रॉमा हील होती है. There is a
So
lot to say.
lots to say about identity, because the Sikhs are among the most emigrated community of India, right? You'll find them in Canada, and you'll find them in many parts of the world. Probably Canada has received most of them, maybe the UK as well. So what happens to identities when you haven't healed your original identity, and then you go into a new culture, and then you try to belong there? How does that work?
Yeah, it is not working. It is not working actually. You know, if I look at the world, if I look at myself or anybody around me who is a Sikh, Guru Nanak ka Sikh University Kenya, then I think we are, as we say, a beautiful tree grows out of beautiful roots, you know. They go all together. The roots also get deep into the earth, and a beautiful tree is there, you know. It's all together. So if I look at our Sikh community, then I think our roots are not nurtured properly. That's why our, you know, if we say as a beautiful tree we are growing, we are a beautiful tree, you know, nothing can happen to our identity actually. The truth is that, but we are in a struggle to keep it alive. That is the actual phrase we can use, that there is a struggle, because we are not getting our, you know, sense of being human. As Sikhs were being bullied around, compared to other religions where people wear turban if they have done something wrong. So there was identity crisis happening, you know, that was also there. So many things Sikhs face, and I think when we are in a lesser number in this whole world, then there is a struggle. There is a struggle if we have to keep our identity alive and to move forward in the world also, if we are eager to do that also, then there will be a struggle. And we are powerful enough to deal with it, I think, and we are dealing with it because we have those beautiful, you know, sayings from Gurbani which completely feed us every day with that power to heal ourselves, to move forward with sabr santok. You know, can you see that there was a lot happening to Sikhs in 1984, or Punjabis as a whole in during partition time, everything. I really want to ask you a question, that let's look at this, that still we are alive, still we are shining in the world. You know, here a Sikh, there a Sikh, there a Sikh, there a Sikh, you know, we can see that. And people, you know, they can rely upon Sikh community. I know that bad things happened, but whenever I look at that as जैसे मेरे जैसे किसी की अरदास सुनी गई हो, जिसमें हम बोलते हैं हो एकत्र मिलो मेरे भाई, हो एकत्र मिलो मेरे भाई, दुविधा दूर करो, दुविधा दूर करो, live life. ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਮੇਬੀ ਲਿਵ ਦੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਚਿੱਤ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਲਿਵ ਹੈ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿੰਨੇ ਆ, then it is like let's get together, you know, let's get at one place and listen to each other and diminish all the dilemmas we have
Mm.
by keeping ourselves to ourselves, by keeping our focus on that one universe, the cosmic power.
It's so beautiful how you just sang, and I was reminded of the sweetness of the Sikh community. Uh, so on one hand, we are hearing that there is some sort of a hole in the soul which is creating drug addiction and
Yeah,
emigration and trying to leave the roots and so on. And on the other hand, we heard like during COVID and during all the horrible times, it's the Sikh
exactly.
community with its seva and the karma yoga, that they are the ones who step up to give you beyond religion, regardless of your religion. They are the ones who are out there supporting, serving, helping,
Exactly.
giving free food. They have been so exemplary in their
Yes, they have been. Through our poetry,
crisis.
yes, yes, through our poetry, through our seva, through wherever we are, it's our culture
Langar.
which is so deep rooted. I know that, when certain parts of our society are not healed yet. I
Mm.
won't deny that. That's why the questions emerge in our minds again and again, as it emerged in your space also. Truth and reconciliation, right? When we talk about truth and reconciliation, then it is there, the first step is to believe, to accept that we are not completely healed yet, right? So there are people who come up from that space, and accept that, and start healing, they start healing themselves, है ना? So there are people who are not even present to that. They are in that space where they are not living properly because they have that identity crisis. They are not accepting who they are. I am a Sikh, I am a Sikh.
Mm.
That's it. Why will I be ashamed of it? I
Mm.
am not ashamed of it. I am I'm so proud of it. When I sing Mool Mantra, as you said, you sing it. Okay, when we say it, what does it mean? There is only one supreme consciousness. We all are women, and he is the only man. If we all are women and he is the only person who is there, then what is left to heal? Is there anything left? No, nothing. But we read it every day, but we are not getting it. So that's the thing. If we have Guru Granth Sahib, so many beautiful things written in it, if we read one line out of it and read it thoroughly to get what it says, I think whatever happens, our power can never diminish. That's being a true Sikh. And we talk about identity crisis. Okay, we have to accept that. As I was a Sikh girl, if I share something from my life, that till 10th I studied in a Sikh school, so that was a Sikh school. But after 10th I went to a school which was um, Hinduism based, and we used to wear skirts in that school. In my earlier school there were suits, so our bodies were whole covered. And there are little things which stop us to be our own selves sometimes. So lots of patience is required. I know I am a defaulter in that, but this is who I am. So what happened that when I went to plus one and 10 plus one, and I used to look at other girls, legs waxed properly, and so hair tied in a ponytail and everything. Then I came back to my mom and said that I want my legs to be waxed because I have so hairy legs. They look so bad when I wear skirt. I look ugly. So my arms are full of hair. And she said, no, we are not doing it. But my mom was blessed that mm, there were no hair on her on her arms by the grace of this beautiful nature. But I was full of that. My sisters were having all that hair on their legs and arms and body hair, So my mom said no. But after 2 3 days, I thought, no, I'm going to get it. I look so bad. Why will I be looking so bad? Because I was not complete with my thing. Whatever I got from my parents, whatever I got from the society, that was not complete. If a Sikhi Bana, the Sarup, how a Sikh is supposed to be, if that was completely delivered to me, and why a Sikh should look like that was completely delivered to me, then I would not have been on this path of cutting my hair, or making that thing so important to me, right? But I think these days what is happening is we are loading children with what Sikhi is. We are not born with a religion. we
Yes.
we are always given a religion after our birth. If our
Yes.
parents are Sikh, we are supposed to be Sikh.
Mm.
That is not. If our parents are Hindu, we are supposed to be Hindu. No,
Mm.
our children should be given a choice. We
Yes.
should give them a choice, that read about these things after a certain age. Of course, we should teach them what our religion is till a certain age, when they are with us to learn. Okay, we should tell them about each and everything about our religion, because we know that we are telling them automatically about that. Then after a certain age, the children should be given a choice. That's how we can. I went to a beautiful person, who is running a who's having his own library in Ludhiana. I said, I want to read Guru Granth Sahib's translations and explanations, everything. So he was having many books related to that. So he suggested me, when he was talking to me, after half an hour, he said, go read other religions first,
Mm.
and I give you that book. I said, why? So he said, go read them. You don't need. He is a Sikh himself and a learned man. So when he said, read other book, other religions, I said, okay, something happened to me. I said, okay, fine, that will be interesting. So when I read Buddhism, Zen, Tao, Tao as we say,
Yes.
and Mahabharat and Gita, and little parts of Bible, then little parts of Quran. What can one get? Everything is same. They are bringing us somewhere where our religion is telling us to come. Religion is not, going somewhere. It is coming back to ourselves. It is coming back to ourselves and being thankful for whatever we have. Everything is saying that. And if I say what is my favorite thing, I think, um, Zen told me something which is so close to my heart. That be an observer.
Mm.
Be an observer. That is what Guru Nanak was saying. He was observing the world like, wow. He was observing. And these days, when people talk about Gurbani, they says, Nanak said this, Nanak said that. But Nanak used to say, Gurbani aayi hai.
Mm.
He
It
never
came
says,
from
he never said, whatever we have read from that, I can say that Guru Nanak said, Mardania Rabab Vaja, है ना, गुरबानी आई है ना.
Mm.
तो गुरबानी मतलब he was getting it from the universe. It was getting written in front of him, and he was just reading it and giving it to us. So getting the crux of it, that nothing is in our hands, but if we are aware, then we can enjoy little moments of that, if not wholly, right? So a Sikh is a Sikh.
learner. So coming back to what you were saying about, all religions have two aspects. There is a normative aspect where we don't cut our hair, but we don't eat beef and we don't eat pork. These are normative aspects of religion. But then each one has a transformative aspect, right? Which is, it has to take you beyond your ego and give you the experience of oneness with divinity. It's interesting that it's in the normative that we all get lost and in conflict with each other.
Yes.
Whereas if we
You
were
said
able
it
to
right.
follow the transformative, we discover it's all the same, right? Because once you're transformed, you see the oneness everywhere, because there aren't two, there's only one. So there's the same thing to see every time. I love what you said. I love what you said on the flight. You were saying paint everything yellow.
Exactly. So keep your eyes closed
Yeah.
and paint everything in yellow. You yellow, me yellow, this earth yellow, everybody around us yellow, the bed yellow, the chair yellow, everything living or non-living yellow. So can you see any boundaries? No, we can't. So it is so beautiful like that. So we have to see everything in any one color. That's it. It's up to us how to paint the world. So why these borders? If I was not able to meet my daughter for these long years, then that was because of the wires in between us.
Mm.
That is what partition is. It is not between India and Pakistan only. It is everywhere. It is in our families. Where brothers and sisters fight for money,
Yes.
for many materialistic pleasures. That is how we fought our politicians. I accept that we were there in them. They fought and they created this line of partition. Lot of pain. I was just reading that day years ago that there is a girl who is writing letters every day to Lahore. I think she's Amy Singh. So that was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. That's also part of trauma getting healed. The way to look at it. So if we want to be ourselves, then we want to look at what is not healed in us. And we have to forgive people for that. Forgive ourselves for that. Whatever we have been doing since then.
So since we have 10 minutes, I feel, the Mool Mantra,
Yeah.
if you could sing it and explain it, I feel right there are the answers to the healing of the trauma.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest gift from Punjab and the Sikh tradition to the world.
Yes, actually, thank you so much. It is a pleasure for me. मैं अपना बड़ा भाग समझांगी कि अपनी समझ अनुसार कुछ कह सका था जो मैनू समझ आया है ना. So पढ़ते हैं. So पहली पौड़ी पूरी जपजी साहब दी पढ़ देनी हुनी आ मूल मंत्र दी जगह. So ओदे ते गल करते हैं. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच. वाहिद. So if we talk about this beautiful gift, Mool Mantra from Nanak to us, Ik Onkar Satnam Karta Purak ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ gur prasad jap. If we talk about this, then this is that he karta ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਇਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਸਮਿਕ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਦੀ ਕਾਸਮਿਕ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਨੈਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਜੋਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਉਸੇ ਹੀ ਜੋਤ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ if we say where is Rab, this is what I got. Where is Rab? We all are nikke nikke Rab. He made us his parts. He made us from he himself. We are him. As I think there is a phrase called Anhal Haq, which says, I am him. Right? कि मैं ही ਉਹਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਹਾਂ ਰਾਈਟ ਉਹਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਹਾ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਸ ਫੀਲ ਕਰੋ ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਟੈਚ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਹੋ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਪਰ whatever we are doing we should not get attached to it. If there is a space to be quiet, we should be quiet. If there is a space to work upon, we should work upon that, but not getting attached to that one thing. So Karta Purak is that. Is Rab everywhere? But he is everywhere. So that is how we should be. That is the first thing which I got from Mool Mantra. Right? And then how he looks like. Who is he? He is Nirpau, Nirvair. Pau means fear. He is not fearful of anything. Then why are we fearful of anything? Because we are him. If we will realize that we are who he is. He gave us our little world as he has designed this whole world. He gave us our little world to design, to create, to put colors in it. He has a bigger dunya. We have a smaller dunya to create. So why will we be fearful to design our own dunya? And other next thing is nirvair. He has no ill will to think about others. No war there in his mind. No jealousy. Nothing. Nowhere. Where in English what we say is
No enemies.
no enemies. No enemies around. So if we are our own friend, then there are no enemies. Okay, there might be somebody who is not our friend, but it is not necessary that we should have that,
Enmity.
Yeah. So hello. Yeah, hello.
This meeting is being recorded.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So it is not necessary that if somebody is not our friend, then he or she comes in the enemy zone. So we can be quiet about that. We have to accept that. So nirbhav, nirvair, akal murat, time rahit hai wo. He's not bound into spaces and times. He is forever. So we are not only, if I am 46 years of age, I am not only 46. As you said, I am an old soul. You are an old soul. We all are. I don't know what is the age of my soul. We all are not present to it. We don't know that. But we are not only 46, 50 years old. We are more than that because we are his own form. Our soul is that. This body is not only who we are beyond that.
Akal.
So the moment Akal Murat. अजूनी से बंग, जूना तो रहित है, वो जमदा मरदा नहीं है. So फिर how can we put ourselves into that shell? It's our soul which is forever living. It's our only body coming and going again and not
So,
getting attached to it. So there, this is how, it goes. Gur Prasad Jap. So whenever we are blessed with all these blessings to know who we are and what this world is and how we are here, what we are here for, what is our purpose of life, that is because he did that to me. As I got that hathoda, before that hathoda, I was sometimes not out of my home for 2 months, living inside a shell, doing little chores of my house and taking care of my children and everything, and keeping myself in my stupid shell, doing nothing, not using properly the time I have got on this earth, getting attached to only few things. So when the hathoda came, then I realized that he is giving me this prasad as this human life. जप तो बैठो और जपो उसका नाम. So when we are singing his praises, then only we are blessed. This is what I got. I don't know what is right, what is wrong. Till now, what the answer is, if I sit and be grateful for what I have, that grows. As it is said that ਬਹੁਤਾ ਕਹੀਏ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਹੋਏ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦੇ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਵੱਧਦਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ. As we say affirmations these days, वैसे whatever you say, if you see, I am little selfish, I think. I am, so if I am grateful for what I have, I will get more things to be grateful for. If I will say, something negative, then that will grow. So let's accept ourselves, because we are not only as we see each other, we are more than that. See, we all were in our mother's womb for 9 months, and that too in water. And we came out as yogis after doing a lot of tapasya in our mother's wombs. And we are winners, we are yogis. So when we came out, the people around us, they started washing our yoga. Okay, do this, do that, do this. Okay, that's fine. You are here. You are present to your journey. Now it's time when we get blessed and get present to what we are here for. The yoga we already have, we all have. If now in present somebody puts my head in water, I will die, for 9 months. Oh my God. And that too kha pee ke mauj karke. So I have that power. So when I realize that I am a winner, then there is no loss anywhere.
yeah, just having just the fact that we survived 9 months, dark, watery space, and we were fully taken care of.
And singing his name.
Yeah.
And singing his name. That's how we tapasvis are. And coming out of that little space, that's the Shakti you talk about. That's the Shakti I talk about. I have given birth to children. You have given birth to children. I know. Many of us in this world know that what kind of pain is that for us. But in that pain, we are giving birth to a beautiful creation. And I can't see anything else more beautiful than that. How beautiful it is. The most beautiful creation of this world, when my daughter came to my hands, the elder one or the younger one, I can see both of them in that moment right now. They're the kind of emotions they can never get explained into words. So that's the power we have as Shakti, as women. There is Shiv and Shakti in all of us. So if everybody will realize the Shakti we have inside us, then what little these traumas are. Traumas we talk about, the partition gave us, traumas we talk about, anything else gave us in this world. So I think that is important. And for that,
I love what you're saying, as a conclusion that yes, as a Sikh woman and as representing a community that has seen such suffering and trauma, you've taken us to a place by calling on the teachings and transmission and prasad of the Guru to remind us that we are so much more than our traumas. We are the divine manifest. We have the power of universe in us. We have the power of consciousness in us. So to not be identified with our trauma, but to be identified with our truth,
Yes.
And to seek that and to stand in that is probably the great message from today's Shakti dialogue. And this is true for all identities all over the world. Each group and people carries its own story of trauma.
Exactly.
But
exactly. It's part of our life.
Yes. And to not get stuck in that and to not make that our story, and to really to go deep into our own spiritual roots that every culture has given us.
Yeah, I want to add something. And when we go deep into our own roots, we can see others' traumas also.
Yes.
We can value their trauma and their journey as well, because we reflect who we are. If we are in a space of accepting and being grateful for who we are, then automatically that reflects in our presence, and everybody around us, they get valued for who they are. So that is how these wires can diminish. Maybe the politicians or the systems, the governments, they require those wires. Maybe they require it. Okay, let's say for an instance they require it, but we don't. We don't. If I sit and meditate and give myself a hug, and then I imagine my somebody beyond those wires, and I hug that person, I know that मैं उतनी ही शिद्दत से उसको जब भी पा सकती हूँ. अभी तो इन लोगों ने, they are being graceful, they are so generous that they are giving visas also to go there and feel the presence of everything we have left there. So that's also very beautiful. And you know what? When I look at those people beyond those wires, behind those wires, then I always see the same love. Same love, same things. As I came to Canada, somebody asked, how did you feel? Did you feel any difference? I said, no, same dharti, same आकाश. वैसे ही लोग, रंग जरूर फर्क हैं उनके शरीरों के, लेकिन वही कहानियां हैं जो चलती फिरती इधर उधर नजर आती हैं. सबका सेम है. तो ज्यादा फर्क नजर नहीं आया. आई एम सो कंफर्टेबल बीइंग हियर.
Beautiful, Harleen. On that note, I would like to close this wonderful dialogue because you brought us full circle to that paint everything yellow, and what Guru Nanak has pointed us to, that beneath everything, it's the Ik Omkar. It's the same thing. So everywhere you go, there you are, and there is nobody else. So thank you so much for the reminder that we need to stand in that truth instead of stand in our trauma.
Exactly. And thank you so much for having me here. I am blessed to be connected to you. learning begins.
Thank you. And as we stand in this truth, let us claim and heal and forgive and be appreciative for our stories, so that with that, the trauma gets released in its own time. Thank you so much, Harleen, and we'll keep in touch. Lots of
Yeah,
love.
we will. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.